Hello and welcome to the class. This is another Wednesday with Smart English. My name is Karim and today is December 6th, 2017. So party time. Yeah, it's party time. We're going to get this started. So yeah, I'm glad everybody can hear me now. So good. That is great. A lot of people are in the chat today, which is always a fantastic thing to see and makes me happy every time I come here. So good to see my Smart tribe. A lot of people in the chat. We have Jalal, Julio, of course. We have Asala. We have Julien. We have Rosa. And then I think there was a Julio or maybe a Julio in the chat. I'm not sure if it's Julio or Julio. Jacqueline, of course, is also back. We have Patricia, Rosa, all the usual suspects, all my usual suspects. We have Edeltrod. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Maria is in here. Summer Yusuf is also in the house. We have Super Shop. Who else do we have? We have a lot of you guys today. Makawi is back. Thank you for coming back, Makawi. Teresa is here. We also have Bisma. Bisma's back again. Thank you, Bisma. Ahmed is here. Mariam is also here today. We also have Sergio and Astrid. I don't think I've seen you before, Astrid, but welcome to the class and thank you for coming. We have Marvin. We have Abdurrahim is also back. Who else do we have? Awiye, I don't think I'm saying that correctly, but I hope I am. We have Tracy Ann, Mukhtar. Oh my God, we have a lot of you people here today, which is always great. Very, very nice to have all of you guys here today. Yenny, welcome to the class, Yenny. Thank you for coming. Jizem, welcome back, Jizem. Thank you for coming again. Yes, I know. Hi, Astrid. Welcome to the class. I know you're new. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you enjoy it today. Boom. Thank you. I love you guys too. I love all you guys. You guys are awesome. All right. So, if this is your first time and you have not been to my classes before or to any Smart classes, welcome. My name is Karim, and I will be your teacher today. So I've been working here at CCEL using Smart for the last 6 years. I also teach a couple of courses at Canadian College. And I love doing this stream with you guys every Wednesday, right? So every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Vancouver time, you guys will find me. So to find me, let me just go a little bit smaller and there we go. Julio, yep, it's your first time. Welcome to the class. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you like it. I just hope I'm saying your name correctly. If it's Julio or Julio, I don't know, so I'm sorry. But I think it's Julio. I'm guessing that your name is Julio. Thank you, Jalal. That's very, very nice of you to say. Thank you very much. All right, so remember, you guys, to see all these Smart classes that we stream here every week, you guys need to go to YouTube and search for Smart English, right? So Smart English, Smart SMRT English, and this will take you to the Smart English channel, where you guys should subscribe, and you should also click on the bell button, right? So should, remember when we did the grammar talking about should, giving advice or suggestions. So I'm trying to use that today. So right, so you should subscribe and you should press the bell button, because if you do that, well, then you will know when all the classes are going to be coming, right? So you guys can already see there's another class on the 7th. This is my class today. And what are you guys saying? It's all right. It's 2 a.m. in Saudi Arabia. It's 3 p.m. in Vegas. It's 5 p.m. in Julio. It's a lot of different times all over the world, which is awesome. That means I have people from all over the world joining this class today, which is great. I love that. I love that we are from everywhere, but we come and connect and join and have fun once a week, which is great. So remember, Smart English, you can find all the streams that we are going to be streaming here. So make sure that you subscribe and don't forget to watch Kent's next class. Very importantly, on the Smart page, if you scroll down a little bit, you will see my face. So when you see my face, click my face. You can see Sean's face, but don't click it, right? Just look at Sean's face, but don't click it. Just click on my face, right? And that's going to take you to my my other Smrt page, right? So inside Smrt, every teacher has his own little page, and this is mine, right? So it's called Smrt English with Karim, and I post some different things over there, right? So I have Vancouver Out and About, where I put some videos about just me really walking around in Vancouver or doing stuff. And then I also do something called Phrases with Karim, right? So very short videos, 1 minute, 2 minutes, where I give you guys a English phrase or a phrase in English, and I get you guys to guess what it means, right? So, so please come to my other channel, subscribe also over there, and hit the bell button. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And for those of you who always ask me about the music that I play, I made a playlist on my channel so you guys can check it out, right? So if you like the music that I play in the streams, just go to my channel and look for the music playlist, right? So I put all the music that I use over there. And don't forget, subscribe, because we need to beat Sean's subscriber numbers. Sean is steadily rising, and we are also steadily keeping up. So thank you guys for that. You've been doing a great, great job. So thank you so much for that. Also, don't forget to go to Facebook, and we have a fantastic group on Facebook. It's called Learn English on Facebook with Smrt, right? Learn English on Facebook with Smrt. Really, really, really cool group. We have a lot of people in there, just over 24,000 people. And the group is very nice. Everybody's very, very cool. People like to help each other out. So if you guys have any questions, of course, that are related to English, you are welcome to come in and ask them, right? And people will help you out. We will help you out if we have time. Yeah, it's a nice community, so I hope to see you guys over there. You can also find me on Facebook if you want to connect with me personally on Facebook. I have Karim Smrt Live, right? So go to Facebook, Karim Smrt Live, and you guys can connect with me over there. What else? Last thing I want to tell you guys is I also have another channel on YouTube that is my personal channel, right? So it's not related to English. If you guys like food, if you like to eat food, if you like to watch food, if food makes you happy, then please come to my other channel, which is called Food AF, right? So just go to YouTube, type food space AF, and usually it's the first thing that comes up, right? So the very first channel that comes up, and you will see this logo, right? So this is our logo. So yeah, so please, 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 I will be honored if you guys come and join my food tribe and subscribe to my food channel. I try to make videos every week. I missed last week's video just because, well, somebody was asking about it in the chat. I messed up the editing file, so I have to start from the beginning, right? So it sucks a little bit, but I have to start editing from the beginning. So it's gonna take a few more days before I release the next video. But I am working on it. I promise you guys, right? I'm not being lazy. Asala says all people love food. Great. Well, then go to my channel, Asala, and subscribe to it and hit that bell button, right? You will. Hopefully you will like the food that I make. Hello, Jose. Welcome to the class. Thank you so much for coming. And that's pretty much it. That's all the stuff that I usually say at the beginning of the class. Hello, Maria. Welcome to the class. Thank you for coming. Who else is there? Ooh, Julian says he made the buttermilk sandwich and it was amazing. Yes, that is one of my favorite things to eat, Julian, that buttermilk sandwich. Oh, fried buttermilk chicken. Nothing in the world like it. So yeah, so I'll be very happy to see you guys over there. If you don't mind, I would love it if you guys subscribe to me over there also. All right, so let's get into this week's lesson. So you guys have been asking about vocabulary for some time. So we are going to be doing vocabulary today. But before we do the vocabulary of today, let's go to last week's movie quote of the week. And the movie quote was this, right? So remember, there was two people in the scene that were talking. So there's a reporter, and she's talking to the main character from the movie, and she's saying to the main character, "You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?" And then the main character says, "Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint." And then she says, "And what do you say to your other nickname, the Merchant of Death?" That's not bad. I like that. right? So, Arzang, hello Arzang, welcome to the class. Thank you for coming. So, a lot of you guys answered this. Of course, the usual, my usual challengers, the people that love playing this game, Julian, and everybody else that usually try. But we actually have a new winner. So the winner for last week was Smrt Yusuf, and I think I saw Smrt in the chat today. So good job, Smrt, for being faster than Julian on that keyboard. I'm sure that he did not forget, right? And he's burning since last week with that. But very good job. Well done, Smrt. You are the person who guessed the movie correctly. So a virtual high five to you. And this movie, of course, if you guys don't know, is from, or this quote, sorry, I should say, is from the movie Iron Man, right? So the very first, the original Iron Man that came out in 2008, right? So this was Tony Stark, which is Iron Man, which is played by Robert Downey Jr., and he was talking to a reporter, right? And he's the person that gave her those answers. So very well done, Smrt. And if you guys stick around till the end of the class today, I'm going to give you this week's movie quote of the week, which is from a very, very cool movie, like a really cool movie, one of my favorite movies. Oh, don't say that, Asala. Of course you can. It's just a matter of speed. Speed. That's all you need to answer. All right, so here we go. Let's actually begin this week's lesson, right? So I'll give you the new movie quote at the end today, so stick around for that. Now, as usual, you guys, today's vocabulary that we are going to be doing at the very end of today's lesson, I'm going to give you guys 2 links, right, for the vocabulary. So I'm going to give you one link, which will take you to Quizlet.com, and you will find that we already created for you guys, and you can try this out, a lot of different exercises that you can use today's vocabulary in, right? So there's different exercises, right? So there's flashcards, there's writing, there's spelling, there's a test, there's match, right? There's a game at the end that you can play. Very, very cool, and you can use this to practice today's vocabulary, right? And I'm also going to give you this other site, right? Spelling City. So same thing, all of today's vocabulary, right, has been put onto that website, and you guys can go in there and play some games and practice the vocabulary. So I'll give you those links at the end after we are done with the lesson. So let us start. So we're going to be talking about sports today, or sport-related words today. So let's begin. Oh, Julian is starting an interesting question. It says, question of the day for everyone. What's your favorite sport? What's your favorite sport? So let's see what your favorite sports is as we go along. All right, let's actually start. So first word we have today is admit, right? Let me just make the picture a little bit smaller because I think it's too big. We're missing some of the, there we go. I think that's better. Okay. All right, so let's start. First word is admit, right? So to admit. And if you notice between those brackets, we have this word which says confess, right? So confess is a synonym, right? It's a word that has a similar meaning to admit, right? So what does admit mean? So the example here says the boy admitted, right? And if you notice, of course, double T-E-D at the end, excuse me, when you say it fast, or when you say it normally during speech or inside of speech, the T sound goes away a little bit and becomes a light D, right? So the boy admitted, right? You can't really hear me say the T, right? So the boy admitted stealing the candy to his mother, right? The boy admitted stealing the candy to who? Who did he admit to? To his mother, right? So what is to admit? To admit very, very, very simply means either to agree to something that somebody says, like, yeah, I admit that you're right. I admit that you're right, right? So you can either agree, and usually when you agree and you say admit, you did not agree easily, right? It was not something that you maybe wanted to agree to, right? So it's that kind of situation, right, where you're agreeing, but you're not very happy to agree, right? So you admit to something, or to confess, right? Like a lot of people are writing in the chat. Very good. Or to confess, right? That's the other meaning. So either to agree reluctantly, that means with some hesitation, that means you don't really want to, right? Or to confess, so to actually say something, to say that you did something, right? So not to hide it. If I stole something, for example, and I admit it, to admit it means I said to somebody, right, that I did it, right? I did not hide it. I did not lie. So I hope that that is clear. All right, but I think it is, because most of you are writing some examples with this, and a lot of you are saying confess, right? So most of you know that admit is a synonym to confess, which is great. Now, next word. Next word is, what do we have? Advise. Now, please notice that this is advise with an S, not advice with a C, right? So actually, there's two different spellings and there are two different pronunciations, right? So advise, and you can hear the S, I pronounce it like a Z, right? Or a Z sound. Yes, Karim, you should change the quote game up a bit. Do movie quotes and song quotes I don't know. Should we do that? Let's see what people think, right? You guys can comment on the videos later, and we'll see how many of you actually want to do that. But that's too much work for me, Julian. I have to find songs then that I have to quote, and I think songs will be much easier. A lot more people are gonna get the songs much easier. The quote, at least you guys have to do a little work to find it. Oh, Rosa would love song quotes. Well, we might think about it. All right, so one more time. Remember, advise with an S is pronounced advise, right? So with a Z sound, advise. And the other one with a C, right, is advice, right? So you can hear an S sound, right? Advice. So advise is a verb, and that's basically the difference between the two words, right? So advise is the verb, and advice is the noun, right? So like in this example, I really don't advise doing that. It's not a good idea. And you guys should already know what advise means, or advice, because we did that when we were doing modal verbs, right? When you say you should do something, right, that's a suggestion or advice, right? So what is advice? Advice is what you think is a good idea, right? Advice is what you think maybe somebody should do, right? In your opinion, what is the best thing that you should do, or what is this, right? So this is your advice, or advice. To suggest, yes, some of you are writing to suggest. Very good, Rosa, that's what it means. Advice also could be a consult. You mean like a consultation, like when you consult people about something? Well, yeah, if you consult somebody about something, basically you are giving them your advice. So yeah, I would say that's correct. Julian's still trying that Beetle joke. Man, it's not gonna work, man. That Beetle joke is not gonna work. That Wi-Fi joke worked. If you remember the Wi-Fi joke, that was pretty shocking. That one got me. My father advised. My father gave me advice, or my father advised me, right? That's what you want to say, Maria. Advice can also mean to warn. Well, yes, if you're warning somebody about not doing something based on your opinion, it's a kind of advice. Yes, I would say that it is. Yeah. Okay, next word. I think you guys get it. So to agree, right? To agree to do something just means to say yes, right? So the manager agreed to give his worker a higher salary. So what does that mean? That means somebody maybe suggested something, or requested something, or asked for something, and if you say yes to what they're asking, if you say yes to what they are requesting, you basically agree. That you just agreed to do it, right? Or you agreed to what they were asking you about. agree could be an opinion or approval. Yeah, I would not argue with that. I would not argue with that. Yeah, that's basically what it is. So to agree, just to say yes, right? So just to say yes, or to have the same thought as somebody else, right? So not different than somebody else, right? So maybe you have two opinions, and my opinion matches your opinion. So our opinions also agree, right? Gertrude or Gertrudis. Gertrudis? I hope that I'm saying your name correctly. Gertrudis. Yes, well, you're not very late, Gertrudis. You only missed 2 words or 3 words, which is not so bad. But welcome to the class. Thank you so much for coming. Robbins is also in the house. Hello, Robin. Very nice to have you. Ground is also here. Very nice to have you too. To have the same idea or thought. Yes, right? That can also be to agree, Rosa. Very good. Elias. Hi, Elias. I'm doing very well. Thank you for coming to the class. Thanks so much. Or to think the same, as Jafar says. Yes, that's also what agree is. Hi, GS Sandu. GS Sandu. Hello. Welcome to the class. Thank you for coming. All right, next word. Let's carry on because vocabulary always takes a very long time. So let's move on. To have the same opinion. Yes, basically, Patricia, right? To agree with somebody is to have the same opinion as them also. Yes, that also makes sense. All right, next word is to assist, right? To assist. So to assist is very simply just means to help, right? Right. So Jalal already said to help, which is exactly what assist means, right? To assist someone is to help someone do something. Now, in sports, this is very common in soccer, for example, right? So let's say, for example, in soccer, a person has the ball and they are going towards the goal with the ball, and then they make it easy for somebody else, right? So they give the ball to somebody else and they make it easy for them to score a goal. So that person, he made an assist. So it can be a noun, right? If you're talking about soccer, it can be a noun, right? An assist. That was a very good assist that he did, right? So that's what we call it, right? It's a kind of play where one player helps another player to score a goal, right? It's called an assist. And that's why we call it an assist, right? Because he helps the other player, right? So to assist just means to help. Or, very good, Elias says to aid, right? Which is a synonym, basically, for to help. Assist and assistant. Yes, very good. That's where the word assistant comes from, right? Because an assistant's job is to help. May I be of any assistance? Yes, exactly, right? That's a very common sentence that many people say. May I be of any assistance? That means, is there anything that I can do to help you, right? Or to help. So I think you guys get that, right? It's pretty simple. Next word is athlete. So not only is the athlete good at sports, he is also an excellent student as well. So what is an athlete, you guys? I'm pretty sure you guys know what an athlete is. Oh, Bisma has a very good sentence. She says, assisting people in the time they need. I would say, I know what you want to say, Bisma, but I would say it like this, right? So assisting people in their, right, time of need, right? So you're going to use time of need as a noun, right? Think of it as a noun clause. So assisting people in their time of need is a generous thing. Yes, and that is a very, very good sentence. Well done. All right, so some of you are giving answers for athlete, I think. A sports person, good at sport, person who is very good at sports, a sportman, a person who plays sport, yes. It might be a noun. I don't know what you're talking about, Robbins, exactly. Which word are you talking about? But basically, an athlete is a person who competes, right, in sports. So, so it's not just a person who does sports for a hobby, maybe, right? An athlete is a little bit more than a hobby, right? So it's usually somebody who does the sport professionally or somebody who competes, right, in a sport. That is usually an athlete. Because they do much more effort, right, just than normal people, right, or regular people who play sports for a hobby, right? So that's usually an athlete, right? A person who competes in sport. But because of how health conscious, right? That means a lot of people these days think about health a lot and they care about it a lot. Athlete can also mean a person who is just very, very good at sports and is in good physical condition, right? Or good physical shape, right? So you can probably call that person an athlete too, right? Okay, next word. Let's see. An autograph. An autograph, right? So auto, right? Notice how I'm saying autograph, right? Autograph. The T, again, the T is, you can't clearly hear a T, right? I don't say autograph, right? It's not autograph. It's autograph. Autograph. Could I please get your autograph, please? I advised my friends to learn English with Karim. That's a fantastic sentence. Ecaphone, or ecaphone. I don't know if I should pause on the K because it's twice or not. But yeah, that's a great sentence, and that is also very good advice. Very good. But yeah, so what is an autograph? It's exactly what you guys see in this picture, right? So an autograph usually is when somebody famous, right? When somebody who is very, very popular, somebody that a lot of people know, right? So celebrities or famous people, anybody like that. When they sign something for you, right? So it's usually a souvenir, right? So it's something that people, they get famous people to do, so you keep something as a souvenir or something that, maybe to remind you, or maybe it was a good memory for you and you want to remember it. But that's basically an autograph, right? When somebody signs something for you because they are famous, right? And you want that signature of theirs. So Julian says, I had to give out autographs today. Yeah, exactly. Because Julian is super famous, right? Julian's a big YouTuber, guys. You should know this by now. Julian, Smrt says she's an athlete at jumping rope. Okay. A signature. Rosa says a signature given from a very famous person, and yes, that is what that's a good description of what an autograph is. David says, I want a selfie, not an autograph. Well, yeah, right? That's I guess the modern, right? These are the modern times version of an autograph. Probably a selfie is more valuable these days than an autograph. But yeah, I guess, or I pretty much know that all of you know what it means, right? Everybody knows what an autograph is. Elias says, give us your autograph, Karim. Because what? Because you became famous. Oh well, I thank you. That's your opinion, but I don't think that I am. I don't think that I'm even close to being famous yet. But thank you for your thoughts. That's very kind. Became, yes, you corrected yourself. Very good. Okay, next word. Oh, what's happening? Show me the next word. There we go. Avoid. To avoid. To avoid. Okay, so to avoid something, right? So let's look at the example first. It says, if you have a stomach ache, I think you should avoid eating cheese or drinking milk, right? So in this example, very, very, very simply, to avoid means to stay away from, right? To stay away from something, right? That's very, very simply what it means here, right? To avoid eating cheese, that means don't do that, right? Stay away from eating cheese. Get out of the way, right? Can also mean avoid, right? So for example, if somebody throws something at you, right? And you avoid it, right? So if somebody throws something at you and you avoid it, that means you get out of the way, right? Before it does any damage or anything like that to you. To evade, that is an excellent, that's a very good synonym to this example, Elias. Yes, that's a very good synonym to the example of throwing something at you, right? To avoid. Avoid can also be used very, very commonly, right? When you stay away from doing things maybe that you should do or that you shouldn't do, right? So, for example, David says, I avoid prejudice. I avoid prejudice, which is good. Prejudice is something that you should avoid, right? Patricia says to refrain. To refrain. Would I say that refrain is a synonym to avoid? I would say refrain is probably closer to stop, right? Refrain from doing this, right? That means, or no, actually, no. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I would say, yeah. To refrain also can give the meaning of to avoid. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Very good. Are you avoiding me? Yes, Jalal has a good sentence. Are you avoiding me? Right? That means are you intentionally, right? On purpose. Are you trying to, stay away from me, to avoid me whenever I try to see you or call you or meet you or something like that? Very good. Hideki, I am not sure what you mean. Synonym is ignore. I'm sorry, but just try to write the question again. I'm not sure what you mean by your question. Judith has a good sentence. You can't avoid gossip. You cannot avoid gossip. You can't run away from it, right? Yes, you cannot avoid gossip. I need to avoid chocolate. Yes, all of these are very good examples. You guys are doing very, very well. Okay, to beg. To beg. So, my daughter is begging me, right, to take her to the new Star Wars movie. So to beg very, very simply means to ask for something from somebody with a lot of stress, right? With a lot of emphasis, right? Like but usually when you beg, right, you are in a position of, you're not the powerful one, right, in the position. That's why you are begging, right? That's why you're saying, oh, please, 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 right? So that's usually begging, right? Begging is please, please, can I do this, right? So kids, and that's why the example talks about kids, right? Because kids beg their parents for a lot of things, right? Can I please go to the park, mommy? Please, 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 I promise I will not do this, whatever, right? That's basically begging, right? When you ask for something, right, with a lot of emphasis, and usually that person you are asking from has more power, right, in this situation than you, right? Would the noun be beggar? Yes, Wellington. A beggar is a person who begs. That's exactly what a beggar is. But when you say beggar, we don't usually mean anybody who begs, right? So, for example, we don't call children who beg for something from their parents, we don't call them beggars, right? So beggars is usually what we call people who ask for money on the street, right? So people who sit on the street, usually they don't have jobs, right? They're very, very poor, and they ask for money, right? We call those people beggars, or that's what a beggar is. Wellington says a homeless equals beggar. Well, see, it's not technically correct, right? Because a homeless person just means a person who does not have a home, but that doesn't mean that they have to beg, right? Some homeless people don't beg; they have too much pride, right? And some homeless people don't beg. But yeah, so it's not a synonym for homeless, right? I just want to make that clear, right? Beggar doesn't mean homeless. And by the way, the opposite is also true. You could be a beggar, but not be homeless. Right? And there's actually a lot of examples and stories that we hear of people who actually have cars and houses and whatever, but they still, for some reason, they go and beg. I've heard a lot of crazy stories about that. But yeah, right? So just remember, they're not synonyms, right? A beggar doesn't have to be a homeless person, and a homeless person does not have to be a beggar. All right. Ekaphone says, could you please explain the difference between assist and backup? Well, like we said, assist just means to help, right? Hey, could you assist me, please? Right? That means, can you help me? Backup is similar to support, right? If you back someone up, that means you support them, right? You support what they are saying, right? And the other meaning for backup also is when we're talking about technology and computers, a backup is when you make an extra copy of your files, your documents, your videos, your pictures, anything like that, just in case something happens, right? Maybe your computer, one day your computer just dies. So it's like security, right? You make an extra copy of the things that are important and the things that you don't want to lose. Muhammad is asking, what does "I beg your pardon" mean? "I beg your pardon" is another way of saying excuse me, right? Or "I'm sorry," right? It depends on the tone and the context and how you say it. But that's basically what it is, right? So "I beg your pardon," excuse me. Oh, "I beg your pardon," I'm sorry, right? So excuse me or I am sorry. Okay, to the next word. Break a record, right? To break a record. Bisma says, my sister begged me a lot to give her my new dress, so I let her. I let her have it, or so I did. Wellington says, I beg to differ. What does that mean? Well, I beg to differ is just, it's a formal, polite way of saying, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you, right? Or I have a different, I'm sorry, but I have a different opinion or a different fact or something different like that. It's a formal, polite way to say that you don't agree with somebody, right? You don't agree with somebody. Jism is saying that picture though. Yeah, I know. Look at all these people eating all those hot dogs. I want a hot dog right now. All right, so break a record. What does that mean, to break a record? Last week, the record was broken for the most hot dogs eaten in 1 hour. So to break a record, you're not really breaking, like there's nothing breaking, right? So this is a phrase that we use. So very simply, to break a record, what is a record? A record is the best possible performance, right, that somebody did before in a sport or in an event or an activity or something like that, right? So in this case, right, we're talking about the record of eating hot dogs, right? Or the record of most hot dogs eaten in 1 hour. This is the record that you are trying to achieve, right? Most hot dogs eaten in 1 hour. So very simply, to break a record just means you do better than the original record. So for example, let's say that the record for most hot dogs eaten in 1 hour was 50, right? So this is the best that anybody ever did before. So if you break that record, that means you did more than 50, right? So it doesn't matter by how much, but you did more, right? Even if it's just 51, right? You broke the old record, right? That means you did better than it. You surpassed it. So I hope that is clear. She broke the record for the 5,000 meters. Yes, Jacqueline, exactly, right? So this is something very, very common that you hear if you watch a lot of sports or the Olympic Games or something like that. To go beyond expectations. Not expectations, Rosa. To go beyond the previous record, right? The previous best time or best result or best whatever it is that you are talking about, right? Not expectations. Because a record, we know what the record is, right? It's not an expectation. I hope that is clear. To achieve a better result than the best one. Yes, Jalal, that is a very, very good description of what breaking the record means. Very good. Next word is all right, next one is can't stand. I can't stand taking the bus anymore. I am buying a car, right? Can't stand very simply means you really hate something, right? You really, really don't like something, right? You can't stand it, right? It's something that you cannot tolerate at all, right? You just really, really, really don't like this thing. So yeah, you very much hate it, right? So I really can't stand taking the bus anymore. I can't do it anymore, right? I hate it. I'm buying a car, or because of that, I'm going to buy a car. And that's it. Very simple, right? Can't stand. Not bearable. Yes, Muhannad. That is a very, very good synonym. Nice job. To dread is the same, yes, right? You can use dread in this kind of context to mean that, yeah, you really don't like doing something anymore. Yes. I dread waking up early in the morning, for example. Yeah. You can't bear anymore. Yes, very good. That's what it more. No, ground. Be careful. Can't stand does not mean to stop doing something. It doesn't mean to stop anything, right? Just can't stand just means you don't like it. You hate it, right? You really don't like it at all. Yeah, so I think everybody's getting it. Very good. Next. Champion. We are the champions, my friends. You guys are the champions. You guys do great every week, so thank you. But yeah, so what is a champion? A champion is a person basically that wins some kind of tournament, right? Or some kind of competition, right? So the person that wins everything, right? That person is the champion, right? He's the best at doing this sport, right? And of course, other people can come and become champions, right? If maybe they win next year instead of them, or anything like that, right? So that's basically what a champion is, right? If you want to be the champion, you have to work hard, right? So you guys can guess, I'm sure, from this picture, the champion is the person that is standing on pedestal, and we call this a pedestal, right? A pedestal. So the champion is the person standing on pedestal number 1, right? He's the highest and he looks the happiest, right? So which would make sense. If you are the champion, you should probably be the happiest person over there. Podium. Yes, but a podium usually has a podium is a little bit different. A podium, who said that? Muhannad. A podium is something usually, so politicians, right? If you watch politicians when they speak, politicians usually stand and there's like there's a table, right? That's a little bit tall in front of them, and it comes up to maybe their well, not this high, right? But I'm trying to show you guys in the camera. but yeah, right? So it's a little bit high. It's a table that's a little bit high, and usually they can put maybe a paper or something that they're reading from, and there are mics sometimes that are coming out from the podium. So yeah, so that's a podium, right? It's not exactly the same as a pedestal. So yeah, so I hope that is clear. But I know that you guys know what a champion is, so let's go on. You guys are welcome. No problem. You're welcome, Muhammad. Jism with the flattery. Jism with the flattery. Flattery will get you very far in life, Jism. Jism says, you are the champion of English teachers. Thank you very much. But, no, seriously, thanks a lot. But yeah, that's a good way to use champion. I want Morocco to get... I want Morocco to get the championship, right? I want Morocco to get the championship, right? Which is... because a champion is usually a person, or you would say Morocco are the champions, right? So we usually say it in the plural if you want to talk about it like that. But if you want to talk about the country, what does the country want to do? The country wants to acquire or to get the championship of the Russie Mondial 2018. I'm guessing that's the Russian something. The Mondial is what? What's a Mondial? Mondial is a championship, right? Isn't it? Isn't that what it means? I think that is what it means. Countable noun. Champion. Championship. Yeah, championship is countable. Yep. Championships. You can win a lot of championships throughout your life. Yes, it's countable. I can't stand Lula, the former Brazilian president. Is this right? Yes, that is a correct sentence, David. Very good. I can't stand Lulu, the former Brazilian president. Yeah, that's a good sentence. Very good. John Sant won so many championships. Yes, that is also very, very good. Football Mondial. So yeah, I guess it's championship. All right, very good. Carrying on. Where's my caffeine? Oh, there it is. All right, to compete. So we've said the word competition a lot, and I know what you guys know what a competition is, right? So to compete is basically the act of participating, right, or trying, right, to do well in a competition, right? So to compete, usually you enter a competition, and a competition is something that we create where many different people or teams or whatever it is, depends on the sport, they come and they play or they compete. This is what we say, they compete. Why? Because they want to win, right? And that's what a competition is. So somebody wants to become, right, the champion. So that's to compete, right? The action of participating in a competition is to compete. Ecophone says you should avoid driving too fast when driving along icy roads. Yes, but that was almost a perfect sentence. But I would say roads with an S, because you're talking about any road in general, right? You don't just mean a specific one. So, but that's a great sentence. A lot of people like to compete in Karim's movie quote. Yes, Julian, that is also a very good sentence. Yes, that's a great sentence for compete. Okay, carrying on. Competition. So we just talked about it, right? You guys know what a competition is. It's where you go to compete, right? Or an event, right? So a competition is an event, right, that is created so people can compete, right? And then somebody usually wins something or becomes the champion. And I'm sure you guys pretty much get that. Now, competitive. So competitive, just very simply, is the adjective. So if you are a competitive person, that means you are a person that likes to compete. You are a person who likes to win. Usually competitive people are people who really like to win, right? So, which is fine. Everybody should like to win. Just what's very important is you should not be a sore loser, right? A sore loser. So let's see what sore loser means, right? So just sore loser, right? So I'll leave that out for you guys. Try to tell me what it means. And as we go along, I'll come back to it and tell you if you guys are right or wrong, right? So if you are a competitive person, one more time, that means you are a person that enjoys, you like to compete, right? You like to be part of these competitions. And usually competitive people are people who like to win, right? And like I said, that is fine. You can be a winner, you can like to win, but what's important is don't be a sore loser, right? Don't be a sore loser. So if you guys know what a sore loser means, tell me what you guys think. All right, next word is, where is it? There it is. Complete, right? To complete. He will complete his university education in the fall, right? He will complete his university education in the fall. So complete, I'm sure you guys know this because you see it in a lot of exercises. We always tell you to complete this and complete that or whatever, and we've said that word a lot, right? So to complete very simply means to finish, right? To finish something fully, right? To complete. I completed my homework, right? That means I finished my homework fully, right? And that's it, right? To finish. So to complete. To achieve. To achieve. For example, if I say, I achieved a lot in my life. I completed a lot. No, I wouldn't use complete as a synonym to achieve, right? It's not exactly the same, right? I will complete my English because of awesome sauce Karim. Thank you, Julian. But you will not complete your English. You will complete your English studies, you will complete your English learning, you will complete studying English, anything like that, right? You can't complete English, right? That just doesn't make sense. Judith says, what is the opposite of compete? The opposite of compete. The opposite of compete. I like to compete. That's a good question, Judith. I don't know. I don't think there is an opposite of compete. You just say, for example, I like to compete. I don't. We just very simply say I don't like to compete. Or what's very common to say is you say that I am not a competitive person, right? I am not a competitive person. Well, actually, you know what? I guess an opposite would be casual, right? So, for example, I know this because of gaming. So, Julian, you should relate to this because I've seen your channel. You do a lot of gaming stuff on it. So in gaming, for example, people who play video games, there is competitive gaming. That means people who play to compete, right? They care about being the best. They care about getting the highest score, right? They care about their rank in the world, right? So these are competitive gamers, we say, right? People who play games competitively. When I describe myself, I say that I am a casual gamer, right? So a casual gamer. That means I'm not a competitive gamer. I'm just a casual gamer. But I wouldn't say that that's like, it's not something that I hear a lot, right? So it's not something like, nobody would say I'm a casual soccer player. Nobody would say I'm a casual basketball player. People will just ask you, oh, do you compete? And you say, oh, no, I don't play competitively, right? I don't play competitively. So you're describing the style or the way that you play a specific sport, right? I don't play competitively. That means I just play for fun. Or you can just, like I said before, you can just say, oh, I'm not competitive, right? I'm not competitive, or I'm not a competitive player. But I don't think there's a specific word that's the opposite for competitive. I could be wrong, but somebody, I'll find out, right? But I really don't think, I've never really thought of the opposite of competitive. The Muhsin is asking, the opposite of complete is continue. No, the opposite of complete is I would say unfinished, maybe something that is unfinished, or incomplete, right? Something that is incomplete is the opposite of complete. All right. Yeah, Julian, I've seen your videos. You are definitely a competitive player, man. You don't do the things that you do unless you're very, very competitive. I can't do the things that you do, to be honest. But yeah, I'm very impressed by what you can do. All right, next word. Court. So what is a court? So there's two types of courts, right? So the first court that we are not talking about here is the court where you go if you did something illegal, right? So if you did something that is against the law. So you go to court, and then usually there's a judge, right? And then he will tell you what's going to happen to you, right? So maybe you will pay a fine. Maybe if you did something very serious, you will go to jail, right? So we're not talking about that kind of court. Today we're talking about courts, remember, related to sports. So this is a court, right? So this is a picture of a court, right? So a tennis court. This is a tennis court, right? So there's a tennis court near my house. Do you want to play sometime, right? So very simply, a tennis court is the area where you play tennis, right? The court itself is the area where you play the game, right? That's called a tennis court. Pitch, yes, but Jalal, we don't say pitch for tennis, right? So see, that's the thing, right? We don't use court for all the sports. So you can say a tennis court, you can say a basketball court, you can say a volleyball court, you can say a squash court. What else do we have? You can say a badminton court. But soccer or football, we say field. Baseball, we say the pitch, right? So yeah, so we have different words for the different sports, right? Or the places where you play different sports. But a court is usually for tennis, table tennis, No, we don't say court for table tennis. It's a table tennis table. But yeah, court or tennis court, squash court, volleyball court, basketball court, anything like that. Cricket. Cricket is a sport, right? So cricket is a sport that is famous in England and India and Pakistan and a lot of East Indian or East Asian countries. There are also indoor courts for tennis. Yes, Rosa, very good. Exactly. There are many indoor courts where you can go and play tennis and some other sports as well. So that's it. Cricket is very simply a kind of sport, right? So if you're not familiar with it, this is it, right? So usually you play the sport with a bat and this red ball, and you wear some protection, and there's two teams, and there's a lot of rules that I don't know, but this is what cricket looks like in general, right? It's a sport. It's a kind of sport. Julian says swimming pool court. No, that's it. You just say the swimming pool, right? That's what the thing is, the pool, right? All right, next word. Delay, right? So you shouldn't delay paying your taxes. There is a penalty if pay late. This sentence is not correct. There is a penalty if you pay late, right? There should be a you or an object here somewhere. But yeah, so to delay, right? Delay very simply means what? You guys are writing some answers. To be late. Okay. Yeah, so to delay is what? To delay is to not do something, right? When you are supposed to do it, right? You make it go longer than it should, right? So yeah, so the delay can mean that, or it can be to be late for something, or to make someone late, right? So I was delayed by the protest in the street, right? I was delayed. That means I was made late, right? Or that made me late. To delay can also mean to put off your work till another time. Yes, right, Summer, that's also one way to describe delay. Itself says, I like your name, Itself, says, my flight was delayed. My flight was delayed. Yeah, that works. Okay. I was delayed by traffic. Yes, all of you guys are giving good sentences and good examples. Okay, to deny. Now, deny is the opposite of something that we already talked about today, right? So let's see who knows. Can you guys tell me what word did we talk about already that is the opposite of deny? Ooh, Muhammad is fast on the keyboard. And you are right. Yes, it's the opposite of admit, right? Or to confess. Yes, very good, right? So to deny is to say, no, that didn't happen, right? To deny something is to say, no, that didn't happen, right? Or another meaning for deny, which is not the meaning that we're doing here today, right? But another meaning for deny is to not allow, right? I was denied access. I was not allowed access, right, to the secret room in the museum, for example, right? But that's not the meaning that we're doing today, right? So to deny here today is the opposite of to admit, right? So remember, to admit is to say, right, or to confess that, yes, I did it, right? So to deny is the opposite. To deny is to say, oh no, I didn't do that, right? I didn't do it. Now, it doesn't mean, it doesn't tell us if you are lying or not lying, but it just means that you said that, no, I didn't do it, right? It wasn't me. If you guys remember the Shaggy song, it wasn't me. That's Shaggy is basically denying everything in that song, right? That song is a good example of what it means to deny. Yes, right, yeah, I just said that. Yes, Robbins, right? Another meaning is to refuse, right? But that's not the meaning we're talking about today. Today we're talking about the opposite of to admit. All right, next word, to dunk. And you have to say dunk like that, right? You have to say dunk because it's cool. I'm joking, right? Of course. Dunk, to dunk, right? Just to dunk. So dunk is exactly what you guys see in this picture, right? So what is this man doing right now? This man is dunking, right? And because it's cool, you have to say he's dunking like that. You have to show emotion when you say dunk because it's such a cool thing and not everybody can do it. So yes, or a slam dunk, right? Some people say a slam dunk. So dunking is one of the most entertaining plays in sport, right? Plays is a move that you do basically, right? In a game. Elias says the company denied my demand for a job. Yes, Elias, but please remember, right? This is the other meaning for deny, which is not the meaning that we're talking about today, right? Today, deny is the opposite of to admit. Oh man, itself says Dunkin' Donuts. Yes, that's basically what. Oh man, that made me laugh. That was good. I enjoyed that. Yeah, to dunk, right? So actually, that is why the shop is called Dunkin' Donuts, right? Because what do they want you to do? They want you to hold the donut and dunk, right? Dunk it in the coffee, right, and then eat it. But yeah. But here, to dunk is the play that we're talking about, right? So this man in this picture right now, he is dunking. To dip, yes, very good. To dunk, that's the other dunk, like in Dunkin' Coffee, right? So Dunkin' Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, right? So Dunkin' Donuts is when you dip, right, your donut into your coffee, right? That's dunking the donut. Very, very good. Deepa is asking about teach articles, Karim. Articles is a big deal, isn't it? Yeah, sure. I'll do that one day, right? I'll do that one day. I can't promise you when exactly, but I'm definitely going to do a lesson on articles at some point, right? I just want to have a nice complete lesson on articles because articles can get, a little tricky. And I want a complete lesson. So I will do articles sometime in the future, but I don't know when at the moment. Can you give some examples to delay? I can't understand clearly. I've been thinking since you explained it. Okay, to delay something, right? So, for example, let's say I ask you to do something today by 5 o'clock, right? So, Jism, for example, I go to you and I say, hey, Jism, you have to do, right, the task or the job or the homework or the whatever it is, right? You have to do this, and you have to finish by 5, right? So 5 o'clock comes, I come and I ask you, hey, did you do it? And you say no. Did you start? Did you start on it? And you're like, no, I didn't start yet. So I tell you, why are you delaying it, right? That means, why are you, right, why are you not doing it on this time? Why are you postponing it, right? Why are you making it late is basically what you're saying. Why are you making it late, right? Which one is formal, to dunk or to dip? To dunk or to dip? That is a very important question. To dunk or to dip? I would say dip is definitely the more formal of the two words. Yeah, definitely to dip. I would say. Jism says, okay, I got it. Great, fantastic, very good. No, Julian, you cannot say a slam dip. That was so good. I like that. A slam dip. You know what? I am always going to call, from now on, a slam dunk. I am always going to call it a slam dip. This is a slam dip in my vocabulary from now on, right? It's a slam dip. I love it. That's beautiful. But no, right? You can't. A dipping is only when you take something usually and you put it in a liquid, right? So to dip something in a liquid, right? That's what to dip means. But to dunk, which can mean to dip, in sports is this very specific action, right? So this man going into the basketball. But a slam dip. That's so good. A slam dip. All right, equipment. Um, 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 um. Slam dip. Yep, slam dip. You guys are hilarious. Okay. Equipment. So I never played hockey as a child because the equipment was too expensive. So very simply, equipment is the gear, right? The things that you need to play a specific sport, right? So in hockey, for example, or if we're talking about ice hockey, what is the equipment that you need, or what is the gear, right? And that's a good word to know, by the way, right? So gear is a very common word that a lot of people use around here, right? So I would say gear is more common than equipment, actually, right? So gear, right? This word here, G-E-A-R, right? So, for example, in ice hockey, what equipment do you need for ice hockey? You need ice skates, you need the hockey stick, you probably need some kind of protection, maybe for your shins, right, or your knees and your elbows, and you need a helmet, right? So that's the equipment, that's the gear that you need. Yes, look, Julian, tools can mean equipment, but not in sports, right? So in sports, we don't say tools. We say equipment or we say gear. But yeah, not tools, not for sports, right? Yes, you're not wrong, but not for sports, right? So for today's context, which is sports, no, we don't say tools instead of equipment, really. It's very strange, very unusual. It's like ingredients in cooking. Yeah, basically. Basically. Yeah. Yeah, the things that you need to be able to play the sport, right, is your equipment. Yes, Rosa has a very good explanation. The necessary items for a particular purpose. That's very good. Very, very, very good. All right, next word. Exactly. So exactly, right? So what does exactly mean? So exactly, a very, very good synonym for it is specific, right? So you guys should know what specific means because we've used that word a lot when we were explaining grammar before. So the opposite of approximately, or the opposite of the average, right? So it's not the average, it's not about, it's not approximately. No, it's precisely, right? Very, very specific number, a very precise number, right? Exactly. So for example, the time, if somebody asks you what is the time today, right? So for example, right now it's 4:13, right? The time right now here in Vancouver, it's 4:13. A lot of people will just say it's 4:15, right? Or it's 4:15, right? Many people will just average, right? They will say the closest or easiest number. But that is not a very exact answer. It's not a precise answer, right? I'm giving you the average, or I can give you something close. And then I will say, no, I don't, is that the exact time? And you say, oh, I'm sorry, no. The exact, or the time exactly is 4:13, right? So it's the opposite of approximately, or the opposite of the average of something, right? So to be very precise, like somebody here wrote precisely, yes, very good, right? Or to be very specific, right? Very, very specific. Okay, next word. He leaves the office on the dot. Yes, Judith, that's very well. That's very nice. But you have to specify a time. If you are going to say on the dot, what time on the dot, right? So, for example, he leaves the office at 5 on the dot, right? At 5 p.m. on the dot. That means 5 exactly, right? 5 sharp. But yeah, so if you're going to use this expression on the dot, which is just another way of saying precisely or exactly, you need to say the time first, right? You have to say the time before you say on the dot. Okay, to expect. Do you expect it to rain today? Do you expect it to rain today? Oh, some of you are already giving me some synonyms for that. To To anticipate, yes, that's a very good word, Elias. Very, very good. To predict, yep, to predict can work. To bet, I wouldn't say to bet, right? To expect is not seriously to bet, unless you are expecting something while you are betting. But usually when you expect something, that's not what we think about. It's not like we're betting, right? Summer says, do you think it will happen? Very good. Yes, right? That is to expect something. So to expect very simply means to think or to believe, right? That something is going to happen, right? Or that somebody is going to do something, right? That's basically what is to expect, right? What are your expectations? What do you think is going to happen? What do you believe is going to happen? Fail. So if you live in 2017, fail should be a very common word because of all of the fail memes and fail videos that you guys can find on the internet. And some of them are actually pretty funny, right? Some of them are actually very, very funny. But yeah, to fail is the opposite of to succeed, right? We failed to get to the bus. We failed to get to the bus stop on time this morning, right? Which very simply means we did not succeed. We were not successful, right? So yeah, the opposite of to succeed is to fail. To not achieve what you wanted to achieve, right? Or what you expected to achieve can also be. All right. Fan. So what's a fan? So fan has a few meanings, and today, if you notice, the meaning that we want is the one that is related to a person, right? So not a fan, right, that you use, or a fan, an electric fan that you use because you are hot. No, right? We're not talking about that. We are talking about a person, right? A person. So yes, some of you said a supporter. A supporter. Yes, exactly. That is what a fan is, right? So a fan is a person that really loves and supports many things. You can be a fan of teams, right? So sports teams have many fans, and some of them are crazy, crazy fans. You can also be a fan of a product. You can be a fan of a company. You can be a fan of a person, right? Or a celebrity. Anything, right? So a fan just means you like something very, very much, right? And you probably support it, right? That's basically what a fan is. Summer says the people who support a celebrity, yes, these are also fans, right? People who support and like a specific celebrity are their fans. Elias, yes, I'm a fan of eating eggs. Yes, very good. That's another way that you can actually use fan, right? So you can say I'm a fan of, and then a gerund, blah, 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 right? I'm a fan of eating eggs. Very good. Can I say I will finish my housework soon? Yes, you can. There is nothing wrong with that sentence. I am a fan of food AF. Oh, thanks, Summer. Yes, that's a good way to use fan. And I hope that you are. Thank you. All right, next word. Individual. So what is an individual? All of us are individuals, right? So very simply, what is an individual? And we are using individual here as an adjective, right? So when I said we are all individuals, right? That's not really the meaning that I'm looking for here. But in this example, right? If we yes, Julian, I am a fan of slam dipping. Exactly. I'm a big fan of slap dipping. Slam dipping. Oh man, I really like that word. Yes, you guys are giving some answers for this example. Yes, very good, right? So if you buy an individual cookie, in this sentence, the word individual means what? Means single, right? It means only one, just one, a singular cookie. That's exactly what it means. So very good, you guys. If you buy an individual cookie, it will be much more expensive compared to buying a pack of 12, right? So an individual means one, right? In this case, it means one, a single cookie, an individual cookie. No, not personalism, not personal. It just singular, just one. That's what it means. It means one cookie, right? If you buy For example, if you buy a single cookie, right? If you buy one cookie, that's exactly the same meaning of what we are saying right now. If you buy an individual cookie, only one. That is what you are saying. Okay, next word. Next word. Instead of. So you guys know what this word means because you guys use it all the time. So instead of very simply means what? Instead of means something in the place of something else, right? So for example, I wish I could eat pizza every day instead of healthy food. What does that mean? That means you eat healthy food, but you want to, right? You want something else in the place, right? In the place, right? That's what instead of means, right? I want something else instead of this, in the place of this, right? Rather than, yeah, basically pretty much that's what it means, rather than, yep. So yeah, you guys are getting it, very good. I wish I could eat pizza every day, right? Rather than healthy food, very good. I wish I could eat pizza every day in the place of healthy food, all right? That's what to replace, very good, Jalal, yes. I wish I could eat pizza every day to replace this healthy food, right? Can we use it as an alternative? You mean? Can we use it as an alternative? What do you mean by that? You mean the word means an alternative? Because that's not what it means, right? It doesn't mean alternative. No, it doesn't mean alternative. No, it doesn't mean an alternative. It means to put something or to place something, right, in the place of something else, right? So that's it. Yeah, instead of, right? In the place of. It means in the place of. Or rather than, right? So some of you said rather than, and that's a very good synonym, right? Rather than is a very good synonym for instead of. I wish I could eat pizza every day rather than, right? Instead of this. In the place of this, whatever it is that you have. You're welcome. Good. You get it. Very good. All right. Intend. I intend to marry your daughter, right? I intend to marry your daughter. So, intend comes from the word intention, right? And it's a verb, right? So I intend, as you can see here, I intend to marry your daughter. So, your intention are the things that you say to yourself in your mind that I want to do, right? So your plans that you make, your wants, your desires, the decision that you came up to. Yes, a lot of you guys are writing very, very good synonyms to this, right? So I intend to marry your daughter, right? I plan to, right? I decided that I wanted to marry your daughter. I've thought about it and my intention is this, right? This is what I wish. This is what I want, right? Or decided to do. I am, yes, all of you, purposely, yes, with purpose. If you intend to do something, that means you do it with purpose. That means you know that you want to do it, yeah? It's not an accident. Yes, Judith, I would say yes. I intend to marry someone, but they all reject me. Don't worry, Julian, you will find one. There's going to be that one that you will not be able to escape from. It just everybody has his own time. Okay, next word. League. There is a professional football league in Canada, right? There is a professional football league in Canada. Summer has very good advice there, Julian. She says, don't rush things. Very good advice. Don't rush things. Never rush things. Okay, so a league is very, very simple, right? A league is when you have a group, right? A group of sports teams, and all of them are competing against each other, and usually they get points, right? So they win points, and at the very, very end of the league, the person with the highest points basically wins, right? They become the best or the champions, and that's it, right? That is what a league is, right? So many sports have leagues. Soccer has one of the largest, right, or most popular leagues in the world. It's the world's most popular sport. But that is, that is what a league is, right? So a league is when you have a group of teams usually playing against each other on a point system, right? So when you win, you receive this much points. If you lose, you receive this much points. If you draw, that means both of you are the same. Nobody was the winner and the loser. You also get a number of points, and then you just add all the points at the end of the league, right? And that's it. And then you decide who's the best from all of them. We don't say dresses, we say uniform, Judith. The league members all have the same uniform, usually is what we say. They wear the same uniform. Okay, carrying on. Carrying on. Medal. So, she won the gold medal in snowboarding at the Winter Olympics. Now, I know I don't have to explain this, right? Everybody knows what a medal is. If you hear about the Olympics, then you should know what a medal is. And also, if you've played any sports in schools, right? If you've joined any tournaments or championships or leagues or anything like that in school, sometimes some schools would also give medals, right? So medal basically is this thing over here. And the Olympic Games, right, which happen every 4 years, if you are the best, you get a gold medal. If you are the second best, you get a silver medal. And if you are the third best, you get a bronze medal. And that's pretty much it, right? So I'm not going to spend or waste too much time on this. I know you guys know this. Mind doing something. Oh, we did this this grammar last week. So, do you mind closing the door? It's very noisy outside. Do you mind? Remember, can somebody tell me what did I say mind means? When I say do you mind, you are actually asking what, right? Let's see who remembers and who studies. Is it okay if I? Yes, but no. Yes and no. Not exactly. It can give the meaning of that, but that's not exactly what it means. Come on, you guys. Show me who's studying. What does do you mind mean? Could you please? No, Hassan. It's not could you please. It's okay for you. Yeah, okay. Getting a bit closer. Getting a bit closer. Oh, Jalal, sorry, you wrote another one there. Is there a problem? Yes, that's what it means, right? So, or does it bother you? Very good, Summer. Yes, right? So, if you say to somebody, do you mind, right? All you are saying, is it a problem, right? Is it a problem if I close the door? No. No means what? Remember, what does do you mind mean? It means, is it a problem, right? So, do you mind if I close the door? Is it a problem if I close the door? No, I don't mind. No, it's not a problem, right? So that's why it's very important to remember it means, is it a problem? Because the answer is going to make a difference if the meaning is not correct in your head, right? So the meaning is it a problem, right? If blah 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 blah. Because the answer matters, right? If you say no, it means no, it's not a problem. No means it's okay, right? That's why it's very important to remember the meaning of do you mind? Because if somebody says no, I don't mind, that means it's okay. You can do it. It's cool, right? And if they say yes, yes means no, right? So yes is a negative thing. If somebody says yes, I mind, that means yes, it's not okay, right? All right, carrying on. Movement. Our English teacher is Karim. Yeah, that is true. Are you are you remembering, or what's happening? Who is? Oh, you're answering Omar. Who is this man? I am Karim Omar. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the class and thank you for coming. Okay, so next word, ladies and gentlemen, is movement, right? Movement, which comes obviously from the word to move. Our awesome sauce. Oh man, I love that title. Julian, our awesome sauce slam dippin' teacher Karim. Now that is a title. You should put that on a business card. Awesome sauce slam dippin' teacher. That's my title from now on. Oh, man. All right, movement. We're talking about the word movement now. So movement is very simply, it's just a noun, right? So movement is a noun, and movement is the action, right, or the act of moving the body or part of the body, right? So I didn't feel the movement of the earthquake last night. That means I didn't feel the motion, right? I didn't feel the earth when it was moving, right? So I didn't feel the movement. So it's just a noun, right? I didn't feel the movement of the earthquake last night. So yeah, so it's the noun of moving, right? When something moves, we say it made a movement, right? So it's just a noun. That's it. Next word. Oh my God, we are still on the N. Man, those grammar lessons go on for so long. All right. Anyway, let's push on through. We can do this. You need to bring your own net to the volleyball courts at the beach. So net is very, very simple. It's this thing you see in this picture, right? So the stuff that is all like that's the net, right? So if we go in Google, for example, and we say net, and let's say, I don't know, sports, just so we don't get any weird pictures. These are all nets, right? So this is an example of a net. This is an example of the net. And this is a net, not the ball, of course, right? The white stuff around it is a net. We also use nets for fishing, right? If you go fishing, nets are very common in fishing. So yeah, so that's what a net is. Yes, and spiders also make, spiders make nets. Exactly. Very good, Judith. Organize. Organizing the party was a much bigger job than I had originally expected. One more time. Organizing the party was a much bigger job than I had originally expected. So to organize very simply means to arrange something so that it happens, right? Arranging. Yes, exactly, right? You guys are already writing that. Right? So that's what it means, right? So organizing the party. That means I'm arranging the party, doing all the things that needed, right, to happen so that the party can happen, right? So arranging is very simply what it means. Shiva Kumar is in the class. Hello, Shiva. Very good morning to you too. Thank you for coming to the class. So yeah, so organize is to arrange, right? Most of you are already writing that. Or to plan. Yes, very good. It can also be to plan, to do something. Yep. To organize. Pace. The pace of the game is important to me, right? The pace of the game is important to me. I find sports like baseball and golf very boring to watch. So why are they boring? Because he's not happy with the pace, right? Of what? Of baseball and the pace of golf. So pace very simply means the speed, right? That's it. We're talking about the speed of the sport. So yes, Robbins said speed, and that's exactly what it means, right? So and that's why he's saying baseball and golf are boring, right? So baseball and golf, the pace, right, the speed of these sports is a little slower, right? They're not as dynamic and very, very active, and there's a goal every 30 seconds or 1 minute, like basketball, for example, right? So yeah, so the speed of the sport that you are talking about. Position. Again, remember, we're talking about sports, right? So position means the role, right? Your job on the field, right? So what is your position? So for example, in soccer, we have a lot of positions, right? We have attackers. That means they are the people that attack and try to score the goals. We have defenders, right? This is a kind of position, a defender. That means his job, his role is to defend, right? So they stay back near their goals and they try to defend their goals, right? A goalkeeper or a goalie is another position, right? His job is to stand in the goal, right? Make sure that the ball, as much as he can, doesn't go into the net. So yeah, so that's what position means, right? Your job or your role on the field or on the pitch or on whatever it is, depending on the sport that you play. To postpone. So what is postpone, you guys? Come on, somebody tell me. I know you know. What is to postpone? Anyone? Nobody? To postpone. To put off, yes, very good, you guys. And to delay, yeah, exactly, right? So to postpone just very simply means to move something to a later date, right? So you can, let's say, for example, you have an appointment today with your doctor or your dentist or something like that, and something happens and you can't go. So you want to change the date to the future a little bit more, right? So you call and you say, hello, my name is blah, 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 and I had an appointment today, but I really would like to postpone it, right? To postpone it, to make it for a later date, right? To put it off to a later date. So that is to postpone. No, it does not mean reschedule, Jalal. Be careful, right? Because reschedule can work both ways. Reschedule means I can make my appointment in the future, or it depends if you have time, you can make it closer, right? Or more earlier than what it was, right? To postpone only means later in the future. You can't go backwards, right? So it's not the same as to reschedule. All right, you got it. Very good. Next word. Professional. I need a professional web designer to make a website for my business. I need a professional web designer to make or to design a website for my business. So, okay, experts. Yep, experts could be a synonym, right? I'm a professional gamer, Julian says. Yes, right. I would admit, or I would agree to that, right? You are a professional gamer from what I've seen. Very, very professional. Qualified could be a good synonym to it, yes. So very simple, a professional is what? A professional is not just a person who knows how to do something. He's a person that is extremely qualified, right? He has the qualifications, he has the knowledge, he has the tools or the equipment to do something very, very well, right? Or on a very high standard, right? Or a professional level, right? So yeah, that's basically what a professional is. So people who play sports, right, that we see on TV and they get paid money to play that sport, they are all professional athletes, right? That means this is their job. This is what they are extremely good at. This is what they are qualified for, and this is what they have very high skills in doing, right? Which is why we pay them, right? In my opinion, ridiculous amounts of money, and I don't know why. But yeah, so that's what a professional is. So usually when you have a job that requires training, right, or special training or knowledge or information or a level of education or knowledge, that's usually what a professional is. Okay, next word. Next word. To raise a child. I was born in France, but raised in Germany, right? I was born in France, but I was raised in Germany. Smrt is a professional rope jumper. Yes. Professional advice. Yes, that's also good. A professional singer. Very good. A professional cop. No. Actually, yeah, no, Julian. I wouldn't say a professional cop because there isn't any non-professional cops, right? You can either be a cop or not be a cop, right? But you can't be an unprofessional cop. That doesn't make sense, right? So yeah, think of it this way, right? We say professional to things that have both professionals and unprofessional people doing it, right? So yeah, so I hope that makes it clear. But yeah, we don't say professional cops. It's very unusual. So to raise, I was born in France but raised in Germany, right? So what is to raise a child? To raise a child, it doesn't mean to grow up. No, it does not mean to grow up. And this is a very common mistake that I see a lot of students making. They think that is what it means. It doesn't mean to grow up, right? To raise a child very simply means to take care, right, of a child or even an animal, right, a young animal, until they are able to take care of themselves, right? This is basically what the word raise means, right? So to raise a child, to raise a family, right? Or actually, no, ignore raise a family because that's a little bit different and I don't want to talk about that today so I don't confuse you guys. But to raise a child, right? To raise a child or to raise a puppy or to raise a kitten or to raise, I don't know, a baby penguin or anything really that you want is nurture. Yeah, that's a good word. That's a very good word, Robbins. Yeah, so it's to take care, right, of usually a very young, right, person or an animal until they can take care of themselves, right? Until they don't need your help to survive anymore, right? So this is to raise, basically. Not increase, Patricia. No, not to increase, right? It's just what I'm saying. It just means, like Robin said, nurture, right? So to nurture or to take care of somebody or an animal until they don't need your help to survive anymore, right? Until they can take care of themselves. Okay. To recognize. I almost didn't recognize you with your new haircut. I almost didn't recognize you with your new haircut. Usually parents raise their children. Yes, Rosa, they do. Karam, hello Karam. Thank you for coming to the class. I'm very well, thank you very much. I hope you are fine too. Okay, so to recognize, the simplest way that I can explain to recognize is when you see something or when you hear something, you know what it is, right? That's it. So it's this reaction. Look at this reaction. It's the that's to realize, right? So to realize, yeah, is when you see something or when you hear something. Oh, I know this, right? You say, oh, I know this, right? That's recognition. So when you see people that you know them, right? So for example, if somebody's walking, I'm like, hey, I recognize that guy. That means I know this person, right? Or maybe you're sitting and you hear the voice of, I don't know, somebody that you know very, very well, right? Like your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your sister, your brother. You can hear their voice and recognize them, right? So when you see or when you hear something, and then you know it, right? That's to recognize. Identify could be a good synonym to recognize. Yep. No, Patricia, it doesn't mean admit. To recognize is not to admit. Or actually, hold on a second. To recognize. Oh, yes, but that's we're not going to talk about that today. Yes, you're right, but I'm not going to talk about it. Don't want to confuse people. But yes, you're right. It could be also. Okay, next word. We are in the R's. Come on. My goal today is to do one vocabulary lesson that is less than 2 hours. We can do this. Click the button. Click the button. There we go. All right, so a record, not record, right? So not to record, which is the verb, right, of recording something with your camera or your mic or something like that, right? Not record. This is record, right? It's a different pronunciation. So try to hear this, right? So record and this word, record, 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 right? So the one that we want is the second one, record, right? Which is the noun, not the verb, it's the noun. So the athlete set a record in the competition for the fastest time, right? The best number, exactly, right? So who said that? Jalal, yes, the best number ever. That's basically a record, right? So a record is when you achieve, right, a specific number that usually is better than everybody else's, and we say you set the record, right? You set the record, right? Record of the best slam dip ever. Yes, exactly. That's basically what it is, right? So the record, remember, it's the noun and it's pronounced record, not record like the verb, right? Not record. So yeah, the best result or the highest or the lowest, by the way, level that has ever been reached. So by the way, you can set a record for the lowest, right? It doesn't have to be the best. Record is not always the best. The record is just it's the number that you reach. It's the number that you achieved, right? That is your record, right? Regardless of whatever it is. So even if I didn't win, let's say for example we are in a marathon and somebody won the marathon and somebody came at the end. I was not last, but I was in the middle. I was somewhere in the middle, right? You can still ask me, what was your record? And I'll say, oh, my record was 3 hours and a half, for example, right? So record just means the number that you did, the number that you achieved, right? Doing whatever sport or task or anything. I hope that's clear. All right, so remember, don't think a record automatically means it's great or it's the best, right? No, just whatever it is that you achieved is your record, right? The best record actually has a specific name. We call it the world record, right? If you hear somebody say the world record, yes, now we are talking about the best number, right? That has been achieved. And that's a world record. Julian, you're being funny today. All right, so to refuse, very simply, this man is telling you what it means. No, right? I refuse. That means no, I'm not going to agree, right? I'm sorry, but I refuse to help someone that doesn't help others. I am sorry, but I refuse to help someone that doesn't help others, right? So I don't agree to. I will never say yes, right? My answer is no, right? So that's it. To refuse is to say no. To reject, yes. Some of you are saying to reject. Very good, yes. Oh, thank you, Karim. You're very welcome. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, to regret, to regret, to regret, regret, to regret. So what is to regret something? And to regret here is a verb, right? So do you regret not coming to class yesterday? Do you regret not coming to class yesterday? Do you? You missed a lot of information. So what is to regret? To regret is to feel sorry about something that happened, right? And it must be something that happened. That's why we call it regret, right? Because you feel bad about what happened, right? Yes, exactly. Jalal says to feel sorry about a past action. Yes, that's it. Very good, right? To feel sorry about a past action. I regret not having started doing these streams a long time ago, right? I wish that I had. But yeah, that's to regret. To be remorseful, that is a very good word, Bisma. Yes, to be remorseful, right, is a good synonym for regret or remorse. Yes, Robbins, exactly, right? No, Julian, it's not ungrateful, right? It's not ungrateful. Ungrateful is when you should be grateful for something, but you are ungrateful, right? Usually. Or that's how we usually describe it, right? People's like, why are you being ungrateful, right? That means, why are you not happy that this happened when you should be? No, regret just means I did something, and then I was like, why did I do that? I'm not very happy that I did that. I'm angry maybe with myself, or I feel sorry, right, about what I did, right? So you're not happy that you did something. Smrt, thank you for a very good sentence. So, I regret not watching your live streams from the beginning. Well, have no fear and have no regret, because you can always watch them on YouTube, right? They don't go anywhere. They're always there. So, go watch them. You have no excuse, Smrt. You have no excuse to be regretful. All right. Rosa, I am full of regrets. I hope, Rosa, that is only an example and not a true statement. You shouldn't be. Nobody should be full of regrets. As long as we learn from what we do in our lives, well, then we'll hopefully have nothing to regret in the future. But yeah. I try not to regret anything, right? I try to live with my choices and not regret anything. Okay, next word is to remind. Could you remind me tomorrow to take my lunch to work, right? That means what? Can you please help me not forget, right? Can you please help me not to forget? Or can you please help me to remember, right? I didn't want to use the word remember because we're talking about remind, so I'm using the same word, which I always feel is weird when people do that. So I try to find a different word. But yes, right? So could you remind me, could you help me not forget tomorrow to take my lunch to work? That's what it means. All right, carrying on. Come on. Under 2 hours. I don't think we're going to do it, you guys. But I'm gonna try. All right, to retire. The man wants to retire as soon as he turns 70, right? The man wants to retire as soon as he turns 70. This guy is not dreaming very big, is he, right? I want to retire when I'm 50. I think that's a good age to retire. 70, I don't know. Like, what can I do at 70 when I'm 70? Nothing. Or, I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like I don't want to retire at 70. That's too late to retire. But yeah, to retire very simply means what? When you, after a long, hopefully successful and hard career in your life, when you retire is when you stop working forever. The dream, right? Yeah, I know. It's the dream. But yeah, so to retire is when you stop working, right? And usually it depends on the country, right? Each country has a different age that people retire at. But the average, right? The average age is between 60 to 65 usually, right? This guy wants to retire at 70. Jalal says, but you still get some money, right? Well, that depends, Jalal, on how smart you were in your life. Did you plan for your retirement? Did you save for your retirement? Because yeah, if you don't plan for it, well then there's nobody to give you money. So you got to think about it. Retirement, even retiring, has to be planned for in this life. Such a tough life we live. But what can you do? But yeah, that is what to retire means. Rugby. So rugby, again, rugby is just a kind of sport, right? So rugby is this sport over here, which is, it's similar to American football, but not exactly, right? The rules are very, very different. The way you play is very, very different. People don't wear the same kind of clothes. It's very, very different. The only similarity is how the field where they play looks, right? It's a bit similar. And the ball, right? The shape of the ball pretty much looks the same. But yeah, it's a sport, right? So rugby is a sport. Super, super popular in New Zealand. Actually, they have the best team in the world. Shout out to the All Blacks. Very popular in Australia. France also joins in the tournaments, and I think England and Scotland also are pretty much fans of the sport. But yeah, that is basically what rugby is. Rugby is not a sport. Rugby is, a sport that is not practiced in my country. Yeah, not a lot of countries are into rugby, but But it's actually a cool sport. I like rugby. I've played rugby early on in my life, and I liked it. All right, rumor. U.S. rumor, right? So U.S. is just a different spelling, right? It's the same word, but people in the U.S. they spell it in a different way, right? So without the U usually. A lot of American spelling deletes the British U, right? But rumor, it's the same word. So please don't believe that rumor. It isn't true. So yes, a lot of you are already writing gossip, 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 gossip. And yes, right, that's basically the best synonym that most people know for rumor. So what is a rumor? A rumor is a story or something that people are talking about, and it might not necessarily be true, right? So we still don't have facts about this, right? Or we don't know for sure, or we don't know certainly that what we're talking about is true, right? So that's what a rumor is, right? So yeah, similar to gossip. So things, stories that we talk about, but we are not sure of, right? Or there isn't a lot of evidence. But yes, Judith says, fake news, it's fake. So yeah, Judith says in the USA, fake news. Oh man, that made me laugh so much. That was very, very good. Fake, it's fake, and you have to do the hand gestures. Remember, guys, when you say fake, you have to do the hand gestures. It's fake news. But yeah, basically, right? that's a bit similar to rumors. Okay. Score. So I'm pretty sure that you guys know what the score is, because yeah, if you know anything about sports, anything at all, then basically you should know what a score means. Even if you don't know sports, it's the same score that you guys get on your tests, right? So it's actually the same meaning. So what is the score? The score is the amount of well, there's two meanings here, right? So the score, right, is the amount of points that you get, right, or the number of the points that you get. But score here that we're talking about today is a verb, right? So it's not the noun, it's not the points that you get. It's today we're actually talking about the verb, right? So to score is basically to get a goal, right? To make a goal. But we don't say you make a goal, right? We say you scored a goal, right? You scored a goal. So that's what it means, right? So to score is the action, right, of making a goal. But we don't say making a goal. It's just, it doesn't mean anything when you say make a goal. So we say you scored a goal, right? You scored a goal. So remember, it can be a noun, right? The number of points that you get. And it also can also be a verb, like in this sentence. How many goals did Messi score last night, right? How many goals did he do? Did he make, right? Did he get? And that's it. That's what it means as a verb. Season. When we are talking about a league, right? Usually a league has some seasons, I think. So season is just a specific time of the year, right? A season is the specific time of a year when a particular or a specific or any kind of activity happens, right? Or when do we do it, right? So you can say, oh, it's league season, right? It's finals, whatever season, right? So it just means the time of the year that something is supposed to happen or something happens. The team won the title as they had the most points during the season. So what is the season? The time period, right? That a specific thing happens. No, anyway, we're almost done. We're almost done. Don't worry. All right, sense. One more. Some people say that they have a sixth sense, but I don't believe them, right? So what is a sense? Some people say that they have a sixth sense, right? So a sense is a feeling about something, right? Or something that helps you feel things. So we have five senses, right? Touch, taste, smell, hearing and sight, right? So that's sense, basically. So some people say that they have an extra sixth sense. And yes, we have 5 senses. Snooker is a kind of sport, again, right? It's just a kind of sport, right? It's very similar to billiards, but it's not billiards, right? So snooker is it looks like billiards, but all the balls are red mainly, and then you have a few colored balls, and they have very different rules, right? But it's basically a sport, right? So it's a kind of sport. That's snooker. Successful, I really want this business to be successful, right? That means I want it to succeed. The opposite of failure, right? I really want this business to not fail is what you are saying, right? I really want this business to not fail. Pool table, yes, we call it a pool table, Judith. Very good. So support, my parents didn't support my decision to quit university, right? They did not agree with my decision. They did not back up, right? So somebody was talking about back up earlier in the chat. So so there we go. My parents didn't back up my decision to quit university, right? They didn't think it was a good idea and stood by my decision, right? Talented. She is very talented at playing the piano. She's very talented at playing the piano. So if you are very talented at doing anything, that means you have a natural ability, right, to do it, right? So this is what talent is. That's the difference between talent and skill. Skill is something that you can learn and practice and become better, right, the more you do it. Talent is a natural ability, right? So you are usually born with a talent. Gifted, yes, very good. A lot of you guys are saying gifted, which is basically what that means. Title, the title fight usually takes place last. So title means this word, the championship, right? The main fight, the most important fight, the fight that everybody came today to see, right? So the title fight, the one that's the main, right? The main event, basically. Usually happens at the end, right? Because it's the most important one. This is what everybody is going to be waiting for. The title fight, we say, right? Championship. And I hope that that is clear. So the title championship is what we say. And believe it or not, we are done, you guys. I tricked you. So today we stop at the T. We don't go all the way to W today. We stop at TTT. So last word was title, and we are pretty much done. Man, that was a long lesson today. Vocabulary always takes a long time. But yeah, so we are done. And you guys did very well. Now, I'm sorry, we're not going to do any exercises today because it's been 2 hours already, and I'm sure some of you out there probably want to shoot me in the face right now. So I'm not going to do anything with you guys. But I will give you 2 links. Where's copy? There we go. So I'm going to give you guys 2 links. Remember, I told you all the words that we did today in the class. I'm going to give you 2 links. You can go there and you will find there are a lot of very cool and very different type of activities and exercises and games and things that you can play with today's vocabulary, right? So Quizlet.com is a very, very cool site, and also Spelling City, right? So today's lesson, you will find all of the vocabulary that I did in these two links, right? So just go over there and you can practice and you can play around and you can do as much as you like. Now, let me wrap up very quickly and then movie quote, and then you guys fly away. And I'm already late. I'm supposed to go out for dinner with my wife today, and now I have to explain myself, or I have to explain my delay. So there you go. All right. So remember, guys, please watch all this awesome stuff that we do on Smart English right here on Smart English on YouTube. So go to Smart English on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit that bell button so you know, because a lot of you ask in the Facebook, when is the next lesson, when is the next lesson? If you subscribe to the channel, you will know, right? You will get a notification right there. It will tell you when the next lesson is, when the live stream is on, and it will tell you when we have started, right? So don't forget that. Please also, super important, scroll down, look at Sean's nice face, don't do anything, look at my face, click my face, right? Click my face. But only look at Sean's, don't click Sean's face, just look. You're allowed to look, but no touching. And click on my face, right? It'll take you to my Smart English with Karim page, and you guys should subscribe to me over there, and you should also hit the bell button, because we want to beat Sean's subscriber number. There is absolutely no good reason that I want to do this, but I just want to be able to do it, right? That's the only reason. I just want to do it. So let's beat Sean's subscriber number. After that, if you are hungry, you can always go to Food AF, where I cook, right? So I cook, I talk about food. Sometimes I talk about technology and things that are I'm using in the channel. And yeah, it's fun. I have fun doing it. I sometimes get guests, and it's really cool. So please go to Food AF, subscribe to my channel. It helps me so much when you guys subscribe. Not financially, I don't make any money out of this, but when you subscribe, YouTube knows that, oh, this is something that people want to watch, and then YouTube makes other people also find out about me. So it really helps me a lot, and I super appreciate it, you guys, when you subscribe and hit the like button on Food AF. And thank you so much, because we are already 231 subscribers, which blows my mind. Really blows my mind and makes me very grateful. Thank you so much. Facebook, Smart English, right? So don't forget. You can find Karim Smart Live, right? You can find me on Facebook. Or I recommend that you join the group, which is Learn English on Facebook with Smart. Very large group, 24,000 people. Lots of people are awesome over there. Everybody helps everybody out. And yeah, it's fun. It's nice. So come and join us at the Learn English on Facebook with Smart. And that is it, you guys. We are done. Let's do movie quote of the week. And let's see who's going to win this week. All right, so what's happening here? You guys are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are welcome. It's my pleasure. See, my wife is calling right now. My wife is calling right now. And yeah. So hold on. I'm going to call back. I promise I'll call back. All right. Let's finish this quickly before she kills me. You guys are welcome. I told you, I love this. I really have a lot of fun doing these classes, so no need to thank me. So, as usual, I'll say this because I have to say it every week. Please don't answer right now in the chat, right? I'm going to show you the movie quote. I'll say it. Don't answer in the chat because I'm not going to look at it, and you're going to help your competition. And because after the chat goes away, I can't see it, right? So, wait until I am done. Wait until I am done, and when I click close, you should be able to comment in the comment section below the video and type it there. It's also easier because then I can see who actually was first, right? So don't forget that. Please don't tell me right now in the chat. And here we go. Oh, Julian says he knows the quote. Well, if you know the quote, Julian, that means you have a good chance to start quick. Really? You know this quote? I'll be. That's surprising. Not a lot of people can easily guess this. All right, so here we go. Here's the movie quote of the week. So I don't know, should I give you guys a hint or not? All right, so this isn't a British, right? It's in a British sort of accent, so that should give you a hint about the movie. But yeah, it's a super cool movie. So here we go. Here is the quote. A minute ago, this was the safest job in the world. Now it's turning into a bad day in Bosnia. One more time. A minute ago, this was the safest job in the world. Now it's turning into a bad day in Bosnia. So that's the quote. If you guys know what this movie is, please tell me in the comment section down below. Remember, you have to type the name correctly. If you make a spelling mistake, I am not going to count it. So the first person that answers correctly, right? No spelling mistakes. What the movie is going to be the winner. So that's it. I really got to run, you guys, or or I'm gonna have problems later that I don't need. So I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time, your precious time, for allowing me to share it. So thank you guys. I will see you next Wednesday at the same time. Until I see you then, I have been Karim again from Smrt English, and good morning, a good evening, and a good night. And I am out!